These videos are filmed in the city of Toronto. We acknowledge that we are on the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the New Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. Hello and welcome to Movement with Laurelle, hosted by Wild Wandering Creations. I'm Laurelle and I'll be leading you through your practice today. Today we're going to be exploring element water, so hop into something comfortable, something that's flowy and easy to move in, and we'll get started. So we're actually going to start off on our backs today. So you can go ahead and take the soles of the feet to the earth and go ahead and lie back. We're going to start off in constructive rest, so soles of the feet stay connected to the earth. Arms are going to fall alongside the body, and you can have the arms or the palms facing down towards the earth. Starting to just feel into that connection. We can start to feel that breath moving in the belly, maybe in the chest. Starting to feel that connection. Maybe you close down the eyes, maybe you just soften the gaze, or maybe you just simply focus your awareness on a spot or something in the room. Start to feel into the breath. Taking a moment to recognize that yoga is an ancient Eastern practice, most notably from India, and thanking our South Asian ancestors who cultivated this practice for us to be able to partake in it. Starting to feel that connection, feeling grounded down into the earth beneath you. And maybe take this up as an opportunity to check in to see how you're feeling today. Soften through the earth. And if you're using an affirmation or an intention, you can go ahead and repeat that now. Or you can use the intention, the affirmation, I am in flow with life. I am in flow with life. And throughout your practice today, I want you to take this as an opportunity to just really flow into the body, flow in the moment. So let go of the idea of how it's supposed to look and simply notice how it feels in the body. Feel through each transition, each shape, and allow yourself to just follow your energy today. Couple more deep breaths here. Starting to connect that breath in through the nose and out through the nose if you can, if that's available to you. And then when you're ready, you're going to slowly extend the legs out nice and long. You're going to reach the arms overhead. Point through the toes. Reach, 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 reach. Lengthen through the body as much as you can. See if you can point the toes a little bit more. Take a nice deep inhale with the breath. Reach the top. And then exhale, side out. Let the body go. Let everything relax. And then slowly we'll draw that right knee in towards the chest. And giving that knee a little squeeze, hugging it in towards the body. And then slowly let's grab onto that left knee. Grab them both in, rock the body from side to side. Feeling that nice connection with the earth. Maybe you lift your head up for a moment, just drawing your head a little closer to those knees. And then slowly letting it fall back down. And gently release that right foot down towards the earth. Linger for a moment with that left knee and then gently release it back down. Right ankle is just going to fall just on top of that left knee. And you have the option here to just stay here, just gently pressing that right knee away from the body with that right hand, and that left hand can stay connected with the left hip. And some of us will stay here. Some of us will reach behind that left thigh, interlacing those hands, flexing through those toes. and coming into our figure 4 stretch. Maybe starting to breathe into the sensation on the outer side of that right hip and slowly softening into it. Even though we're flexing through the toes, maybe you just give them a little wiggle, a little softening, breathe in a little space. One more deep breath here. And then we'll gently release the hands. Take them out nice and wide so the palms connect down to the earth. Feel the shoulders connect. And then you're just going to slowly drop your legs over towards that left side. And you can shift the hips over towards the right to provide a little bit more space in the body. And maybe you stay here with the legs, or maybe you release that right leg on top and add that left hand for a little bit of support. You get to decide what those legs are doing. Soften into it a little more. Maybe the gaze falls over towards the right side, away from the knees. We're here for a couple more breaths. Seeing if you can lean into that connection. And maybe the breath takes you a little deeper into the ground. On your next inhale, slowly come back through center. Once you come back through center, maybe you release that right foot down if it's still on top of the left. And then slowly, let's take that left ankle on top of that right knee, and we're just going to gently press that hand away. Press that knee away, not that hand. And just staying here if that feels good. Or maybe you reach behind that right thigh, interlace those hands, and come into that figure 4 stretch. Keep flexing through the toes to protect that knee, but soften where you can soften. Noticing if the mind is starting to water. Noticing what's showing up for you. Now, when we think about element water, what comes to mind when you first think about water? Do you think of nourishment, refreshing, flowing? What comes to mind when you think about water? Maybe you think of a rough current, a big wave, the ocean. What comes to mind? One more deep breath here. And then gently release the hands from behind the thigh. Take them out nice and wide. And maybe you shift the hips over towards the left side and then let the knees fall over towards the right. And again, the legs can stay bound, or you can release that left leg on top of the right knee. Seeing if you can keep that connection with the shoulders. And then maybe take your gaze over towards that left side. Start to soften into it. Feel the connection beneath the hands. Maybe soften the gaze. Or maybe just allow the gaze to fall on something, some color in the room, some object that keeps that attention, keeps that inner awareness. And then slowly, maybe you guide the head up first, and then we'll take the legs back through center. Shift the hips to the center of the mat, and then just gently release that foot down. Taking our time here, settling back into constructive rest. Arms fall alongside the body here. And we're just going to gently hug the knees in towards the chest, but keep the arms where they are grounded down. On the in-breath, you're just going to extend the legs up towards the sky. And then as you exhale, just gently release the feet all the way down. Then right before you reach the earth, hug those knees back in towards the chest. And we're going to do that a few times. Inhale here to lift. Exhale, slowly lower. Hug the knees in towards the chest. Follow your own pace and follow your own rhythm of your breath. And maybe you switch it up. Maybe as you extend the legs up, you exhale. And then as you lower, you inhale. Finding the pattern of breath that works for your body today, that works for your practice. Let's do 2 more just like that. Lift up, lower down. The last one here. Follow your breath, slowly extending them down. And then let's hug those knees in towards your chest. Hold here, and you're just going to take the arms underneath the thighs, and you're just going to rock and roll up into a boat pose. Now that could look different for many of us. So maybe you lower the toes down towards the earth, keeping the chest lifting up. Maybe you lift the shins so that they're parallel with the earth. And maybe you extend those arms forward in front of you. Engaging through the core, spreading those fingertips a little bit wider. We're here for 3, for 2, and for 1. Gently take those hands towards those thighs and lower those feet all the way down. Swing those legs to the side, take those hands underneath the shoulders, spread the fingertips nice and wide, and we're going to come into a cat-cow position. Hands come underneath those shoulders, spread them a little bit wider, press the tops of the feet into the earth, and then inhale here, lift up through the chest. Exhale, let's round through the spine, tuck that chin in towards your chest, press the floor away, and then inhale to lift. Starting to feel that flow, that movement, that change. Starting to connect with element water. And again, asking yourself, what comes up when you think about element water? Is it being in flow? Is it nourishment? Is it soothing, cleansing? Maybe water represents letting go for you, washing away, starting new, playfulness. What is it that shows up? Starting to lean into and embody all of that water element and what it means to you. One more deep breath here. And then we're going to slowly find that nice neutral spine. We're going to tuck through those toes, press the heels into the earth, and then lift up through downward facing dog. Press your hands into the earth. Maybe start to lower those heels a little closer to the earth. And if they don't quite reach, then energetically press them into the earth. Some of us might have a slight bend in the knees. Some of us might fully straighten through the legs. Finding the extension where you can. And then on your in-breath, lift up through that right leg. Flex through those toes, square off those hips, and we'll pulse here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, hug that knee in towards your nose. Look between the hands. Step that right foot forward. Now we're just going to gently press into the earth. Keep that left leg engaged. And then as you inhale, you're just going to sweep those arms back behind you, palms face down towards the earth. Hugging the belly away from that thigh, pressing away. And then as you inhale, you're going to lift the arms up and just drop that left knee down. Maybe you untuck those toes, lift the arms up towards the sky, and then soften through those shoulders, cactus through those arms. Deep bend in the elbows, shoulder blades draw together. And then slowly you're just going to sweep your hands along the skull and then press them out towards the side. Inhale to sweep up, finding some arm movement. Exhale to bend. Slowly press those arms away. Inhale to lift. Exhale, let's bend here. Again, find your own rhythm of your breath and apply the inhale and the exhale where it feels good for you. Last one here. Next time you cactus through those arms, hold there. And we'll breathe here for 3, for 2, and for 1. Inhale, lift the arms back up. Slowly release that left hand to the inside of the right foot, and we'll twist over towards the right side. Leaning back into that right hand. Maybe you stay here, or maybe begin to reach that arm back behind you. Fingertips reach towards the back of the earth. Maybe you stay here, maybe begin to bend into that left leg, grab a hold of that left foot, and hug the heel in towards your seat. Try to keep that gaze over that right shoulder. Soften into it. And then when you're ready, gently release that left foot. Try not to let it slingshot back. Gently release it. Arm comes all the way back through center. Listen carefully. That hand's going to come to the inside of that right foot. Tuck through those toes. Lift up through that left knee. And we're going to walk the hands through center, coming into wide-legged forward fold. Now you can have a slight bend in the knees if that feels okay. We're just going to try to lengthen through the spine. So hinging from the hips, so trying to ensure that that spine isn't rounding. Maybe you have some blocks for support to give you a little bit more height. Letting the head get heavy. Letting the muscles of the face relax. One more deep breath here. And then let's press the fingertips into the earth. Inhale here to find some length. Come up halfway. And then exhale, let's fold. Slowly beginning to walk the hands towards the top of the mat. Let's pivot those feet so the toes face the front. And then we're just going to press the hands into the earth, step back, downward facing dog. Again, press those heels as close to the earth as they'll go. Maybe soften through those hips a little bit. Move around the weight to notice any sensations you might be feeling or experiencing. And then inhale here, let's lift the left leg up. Square off those hips and we'll pulse for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, hug that knee towards your nose. Look between the hands. Let's step that left foot forward. Right away, ground down through the feet. Hands come on either side of that foot. Seeing if you can lift that back heel a little bit further away. And then maybe on your in-breath, you come up. Arms come alongside the body. Palms face down. Let the gaze stay down towards the left toes. And then slowly draw the hands up towards the earth. Drop that back heel down. Lifting up through center. Maybe those toes untuck. And then maybe on the exhale, you bend through the elbows, lift the heart. Shoulder blades draw together. Let's find that arm movement. Arms come out towards the side. Press them away. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, let's bend. And again, you follow your own rhythm of breath. You get to decide what your practice looks like, what you're experiencing. Just notice those sensations. And again, tapping into element water. Deep letting go. Feel and embody what you need. Last one here, when you find your cactus, just bend into it. Bend into those elbows. And then breathe and fill yourself up with the essence of element water. One more deep breath here. Inhale, let's reach the arms up. Exhale, right hand comes down to the inside of that left foot. Let's twist towards that left side. Maybe stay here. Maybe reach that arm back. And again, maybe you stay right here. This is such a great place to stay. Or maybe begin to bend into that right foot. Grab a hold of that right foot and draw it a little closer towards the seat. Gaze over the left shoulder. Press a little bit more into it. And then gently release that foot, making sure it doesn't slingshot back. Hand comes back through center. And again, hands fall to the inside of that left foot. Tuck through the right toes, lift up through the right knee, and walk the hands to the center of the mat, coming into wide-legged fold on the other side. Right away, let that head get heavy. Soften the muscles of the face, release any tension in the jaw. And notice if you're holding or gripping in any other areas of the body. Right hand comes down just underneath the face to the center of the mat, and then inhale, lift the left arm up. Maybe that hand comes to the base of the spine if that feels better. Or maybe you keep it extended up. Exhale, let's release that hand down. Next, in-breath, that right hand comes up towards the sky. Open up here, and again, maybe that hand comes to the base of the spine. Maybe that feels good. Maybe that feels better in your shoulder. One more deep breath here. And then exhale, let's release that hand all the way down. Let that head fall heavy towards the earth, and then walk those hands towards the left side of the mat. Let's pivot those toes so that they face the front. Hands press into the earth, step back, downward facing dog. On your in-breath, let's come forward, high plank. Lower those knees down towards the earth. Bend through the elbows, slowly lower all the way down. Inhale here to press through the hands. Draw those elbows close towards the ribs. And then tuck through those toes, come through tabletop. Let's take those knees nice and wide and just take a moment here in our child's pose. Release the arms, release the forehead, soften the seat in towards your heels and start to just breathe. Focus on the breath and notice where that energy is flowing, where the mind is going. And start to, again, think about that element water. Think about what it means. Thinking about that sweetness of life, how it flows through you, how it radiates through the body. Finding your own flow, your own rhythm. And then slowly, when you feel ready, pressing the hands away from the earth. And we're going to tuck through those toes, come back through downward facing dog. And we're just going to slowly walk the hands towards the feet. Letting everything fold forward here in your standing forward fold. Letting that head get heavy. Maybe grabbing opposite elbows and just letting that body sway from side to side. One more deep breath here. And then release those hands and we'll slowly roll the body all the way up, taking our time. Slowly rolling, slowly, slowly, slowly. And then soften those shoulders, down the back, wiggle through those fingers, soften through the knees. Let it all go. And then start to root through the feet and start to really press into that left foot. And you're going to start to lift up through the right foot. Reach the arms all the way up towards the sky and soften through the shoulders. Start to circle out through that knee one way and then the other way, just loosening up through that hip, breathing into those sensations. One more deep breath here. And then slowly guide that right ankle just on top of that left knee and start to sink into the hips, drawing the hands towards your heart. Start to drop the seat a little bit lower. Maybe your arms start to connect with that right leg, all the while keeping the spine nice and long and opening up through the heart. Softening into the hips. Open up here. One more deep breath. Sink into it just a little more. And then slowly begin to stand all the way up. Reach the arms up, lift the knee. And then gently cross that right ankle over top of the left. And I'm going to grab a hold of that right wrist and then gently pull it over towards that left side body stretch. Lengthening through that side body, rooting through the feet. Maybe the gaze is up, maybe it's up towards the sky or down towards the earth. And then slowly come back through center. Release the arms. Take them out nice and wide and fold all the way forward. Release the hands towards the earth and just sink into the hips. Breathing into the backs of the legs. We're here for 3, for 2, and for 1. Slowly begin to roll the body all the way back up to standing. Take your time as you roll up, letting the head, neck, and shoulders come up last, and soften the shoulders back. Step that foot beside. Shake out the legs, shake out the arms, let it all go. And we'll move into the other side. Start to root through the feet, starting to lift up through the left leg, reach the arms high. Circling out through that leg, moving in one direction, and then moving in the opposite direction. Take your time. Notice any similarities or differences, and then slowly guide that left ankle on top of that right knee. Sinking into a figure 4 stretch, dropping the seat low, hands come towards your heart, and maybe those arms start to release down towards that left leg.
Remembering to keep the spine long, chest open. Sink the hips a little lower. One more breath. And then slowly press into that foot. Stand all the way tall. Reach the arms up. Release that left leg. And gently cross that left foot over the right. And grabbing a hold of that left wrist, let's pull it over towards the right side. Getting into that right side body. Rooting through the feet. Let's notice any similarities, any differences. One more breath. And then rise through center. Release the hands. Take them out wide and fold forward. Releasing the hands all the way down towards the earth. Let that head hang heavy. Relax the muscles of the face. Unclench the jaw. Just let yourself be here. Letting go. Slowly, let's roll the body up. Take your time as you slowly unravel that spine. Soften the shoulders away from the ears. Unravel that foot. And give it a shake. Shake it out. Release it. Let it go. Roll out through the shoulders, the legs. Let it go. Take a deep in breath. Side out. Let it go. And we'll come to stand at the top of the mat. Root through the feet. Inhale, reach the arms high. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale here, find a nice flat back, hands on shins. Fold forward, release the hands down towards the earth and step that right foot back behind you and then the left foot high plank. Start to press evenly through the hands and then on your exhale, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Soften the shoulders away from the ears. Take a moment here in this shape. And then gently lower the knees all the way down towards the earth. Take them out nice and wide. Big toes touch. Shift the hips back. Child's pose. Let the arms get heavy. Let the weight of the head get heavy. And start to shift the weight from side to side. Feeling the weight move from hip to hip and then maybe rolling out the forehead. And taking your time here. Couple more deep breaths. Allow your mind to quiet. Allow yourself to go inward. And then slowly start to push yourself away from the earth. And we'll swing the legs off to one side. And just make sure that you have a block handy so that it's close by. Just put it off to the side of your mat. And then we're just going to extend the legs out nice and long. Shake out those legs. Let it go. Release any tightness. And then start to bend into that right knee, sole of the right foot comes across that left leg, flex through the left toes, option to keep it straight, or bend into that knee, coming into a seated spinal twist. Reach the arms up, and then exhale, wrap your left arm around that right knee, right hand comes behind you, lengthen through the spine on the in-breath. And as you exhale, seeing if you can twist a little deeper. Lengthening on the inhale and twisting a little more on the exhale. And just focusing on that breath, allowing yourself to just be here. We're here for one more deep breath. And then slowly start to roll over towards the other side. Find a counter twist to the other side. And then we'll come back through center. Start to unravel the legs, extending the left leg and then the right leg. And give it a shake out. Release it. Let it go. And then we'll start to bend into that left knee. And maybe you guide it across the right leg. And again, you have the option to keep that right leg straight or bend into it, coming into that seated twist. Keep the spine long as you reach the arms tall. And then you're just going to wrap your right arm around that left knee. Take that left hand behind you and then lengthen through the spine. Turn your gaze over that left shoulder. Soften through the gaze. Soften through the shoulder a little more. Start to reconnect with the breath. Rooting down through that left hand. We're here for one more deep breath. And then slowly start to unravel, twist towards the other side, little counter twist. And then we'll come back through center, unravel the legs, give them a shake, release it, let it go. Come back to your breath and bend into the knees. Soles of the feet connect to the earth. Make sure there's enough room behind you to roll back. Reach the arms forward and slowly start to roll the spine all the way down towards the earth, taking your time, vertebrae by vertebrae, feeling the spine start to connect to the earth until you reach all the way back. Draw the soles of the feet in a little closer towards the body. Make sure that that block is still handy and close by so that you can reach it. And we're just going to draw the soles of the feet a little closer so that we can just graze the backs of the heels with our fingertips. And our arms are going to fall alongside the body, pressing the hands into the earth. And we're going to find a little pelvic rock here, but we're also going to add in a bridge lift. So as you start to lift the tailbone, seeing if you can lead with the pelvis and then start to engage the heels, lifting a little higher. And then as you exhale, slowly start to roll down, but start again with the spine rolling vertebrae by vertebrae down until your hips release down towards the earth. Taking our time here, inhale here to draw the tailbone up nice and slow. And it's going to you're going to start to feel that connection, start to feel that whole spine start to lift, and you're just going to engage the heels just at the end. Seeing if you can really use the strength in the muscles in your pelvis and your core to lift yourself a little higher. And each time you come up, maybe you lift a little higher. And then on the exhale, you start to roll down, not right away with the hips, but rolling from the top of the spine all the way down to the base until your hips land down towards the earth. And follow your own rhythm, your own breath here. One more time. Inhale here, lifting through the tailbone. Starting to reach the hips a little higher. Lift it a little more. Press into the heels. Press into those hands. Tuck that chin in towards your chest. Maybe the hips guide a little higher. Maybe you rock the shoulders underneath you. Interlace those hands. And then gently release the hands. Unravel the shoulders and slowly start to release down. And again, leading with the spine, making sure that the hips don't just land down towards the earth until the whole spine connects. Arms fall alongside the body. And now we're going to grab that block for support. We're just going to slide it underneath the base of the spine, so that we can, coming into almost a supported bridge here. And this is a really good place to stay. You can stay here in your supported bridge. Or you can begin to lift the legs high to the sky, coming into waterfall pose. And you can wiggle through the toes here. The arms can fall alongside the body, or you can reach them overhead. And find any movement that feels good with the legs. Maybe just let them hang towards the sky, or maybe you bend one knee and then the other. Maybe you take the legs wide and crisscross the legs, shifting the weight around, playing around, getting curious and exploring, playing around with the legs for a little bit more. And then maybe you start to let the legs come through center, just letting them hang towards the sky. Maybe the eyes close, maybe the gaze softens. It's so nice and relaxing to let the legs hang over the head. This is just a nice restorative way to do it. You can stay here for as long as you want. Just breathing, just taking it all in, finding any movement that feels good. And then when you feel ready, slowly release the soles of the feet back down towards the earth. And then just pausing here for a moment in your supported bridge, keeping the soles of the feet grounded, letting the weight of the hips fall into that support, and then just gently releasing it out towards the side. And then we'll just settle into constructive rest. Just taking a moment here, maybe moving the legs from side to side, finding a tiny bit of a windshield wiper. Nothing too much, just gentle movement side to side, just shift the weight. And then when you feel ready, you can either stay in constructive rest, finding some stillness, or you can come into your final shape of Shavasana. Letting the arms come out towards the side, letting the legs splay out, feet fall away from each other. Spreading the fingertips. And then just taking a little body scan from the crown of the head to the fingers and the toes. Starting to relax through the whole body, all the way down to the toes and the fingers. Relaxing the muscles of the face. Softening through the jaw. And letting yourself sink a little deeper into the shape. And you are welcome to stay in this shape as long as you want, or you can start to hug the knees in towards the chest. Rock the body from side to side. And then grabbing underneath the thighs, just rock and roll yourself up to a seat. Slowly finding your way to a seat. You can either sit on a block or maybe a blanket. Maybe the eyes stay closed. Maybe you just soften the gaze. Relax the hands down on the thighs. Soften the shoulders away from the ears. Settle in. And slowly draw the hands towards heart center. Bow down towards those hands and just take a moment to thank yourself for showing up today and thinking about that element water. I am in flow with life. I am in flow with life. Feeling and embodying what you need from the water element. Breathe it in, fill your body with its essence. And with gratitude for our practice and with gratitude for our community, thank you so much for holding space with me today. And just finding that flow and taking it with you off the mat. And knowing that we can be in flow in life. You might have noticed that my mic cut out about halfway through the practice, and that is all about being in flow with life, letting it go, releasing that need to control, and that's what I get for filming this during Mercury Retrograde technical issues. So have a wonderful day. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you on the mat next week. Thank you so much.